Hey ladies and gents! Welcome to my channel. Today is a story time video and I'm kind of really nervous about this story time, but I feel like it can help someone that's maybe in the situation I was in. So today's story time video is gonna be me explaining why I'm graduating at 16, because every time someone asks, how would you do that? Like, how does someone do that? Just tell them something really short and sweet, but they don't know the whole story. So if you guys want to know why I'm graduating at 16, just keep on watching. Since the beginning, since I started school in preschool, I always cried the first day of school. And I don't know why. I just didn't like leaving my mom. I didn't like leaving my grandma. I don't know. I got used to it eventually. But I cried the first day of 4th grade, and I didn't go to school for a couple months at the beginning. I was very attached to my mom, and I just didn't like leaving her. I stayed in the principal's office, and I just was there the whole time. Then they had to get me back in class, of course. I would go out to recess and lunch, and my friends were like, they were wondering where I was, and I'm not sure if I told them I was in the principal's office. The principal tried helping me go back to class, and the counselor did too. So what happened was we set like a time schedule. So after lunch, I would go for like 15 minutes of the class, and then I would leave. So I would like sneak out of the classroom. First it was like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, then 20, 30, and so forth. I remember one day, I just felt very embarrassed that I kept leaving, and I know the kids looked at me like, where is she going? I kept looking at the time, and I was like, I have to leave, it's time to leave. 10 minutes went by, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna stay. I was too embarrassed to leave, so I stayed the whole time. After school, I went to the principal's office. She was like, Emily, where were you? I said I stayed the whole day. She was like, that's good. And so then that's what I kept on doing. I went to school from the morning till the end of the day, and I was fine. I didn't go back to the principal's office. So then 5th grade went by, and then I was fine 5th grade. I went to class in 5th grade, and then 6th grade came along. Towards like the winter, everyone started talking about, you know, middle school. Me, I don't like change at all. So I didn't really like the idea of leaving the school that I've been to for 6 years, maybe 5. When everyone was talking about middle school, my anxiety went through the roof. So then I promoted from 6th grade, and everything was fine. The summer before 7th grade, it was time for orientation, and my best friend knew I was nervous to go to middle school, so she came with me. I saw some kids that I went to school with. I saw some kids that I didn't know and didn't go to school with. I got my books, everything was fine. The teachers there were really nice. They were telling me how everything's gonna be fine and I'm gonna have the best time ever. I was excited that I was gonna go through middle school with my best friend. I was gonna meet new friends. And then the first day came. I did not want to get out of bed. I did not want to get ready. My mom was like, Emily, come on, you have to get ready now. I was like, I don't want to go. My mom threatened me, saying she would call the cops if I didn't get out of bed and get ready. So that got me out of bed real quick, and I got ready. It was time for us to leave, and that everything hit me. I cried and cried, and I fell to the floor. They were trying to get me up, and I just wouldn't let them get me up. I was sorry, just remembering everything. And then my mom said that she's gonna call the cops, and I didn't believe her. Next thing I knew, someone's knocking at the door, and who is it? I was scared, and they were talking to me. It was a woman. She was like, what's going on here? And I didn't talk, and my mom was saying how I didn't want to go to school. She was like, okay, you have 2 choices. You can either get up and go wash your face and go in your mom's car so she could take you to school, or you're gonna go in my car and I'm gonna take you to school. So I chose to go with my mom. At this time, it was about like 9:30 or 10, so I was obviously late to school. my mom, she came with me. She called beforehand saying that I'd be late and how I didn't want to go to school, and the counselor said to come into her office. We were just talking, and she asked me why I didn't want to go to school, and I told her I just don't like being around a lot of kids. Mom had to go to work, and so the counselor was like, you could go ahead and leave, she's fine here. Lunchtime came around, vice principal came in. She's like, you ready to go to lunch? I was like, no, I don't want to go. She's like, well honey, you have to go, because if you don't, they're gonna think that we don't feed you, and we don't want them to think that. They called my best friend out from her class, and we went to lunch together, and it was a lot of kids. I remember I was eating with a group of friends that I didn't know. I wasn't focused on anyone else, just the friends that I knew from elementary school. Lunch was over, they went back to class. I said, okay, I'm gonna go get my stuff. The day ended, she was like, okay, we'll try tomorrow, go to class. And I said, yeah, but really in my head, I was like, I don't want to go to class. I literally went out of the office 2 times. 7th grade, I was in the office the whole year. I did my work through online, and then the online stuff started getting really hard, so they're like, okay, she needs a teacher. I had a science teacher. She taught me everything. She taught me English, math, history. She taught me all of that. And I thought the worst. I thought that I was known as the girl in the office, and I stopped talking to my old friends, talking to my old best friend. 7th grade ended. Me and my mom and the district, we had meetings in this thing called independent studies, and they wanted to get me back into class, and my mom was like, no. So the district suggested homeschool, and I was like, you know, I'm a single mom, I don't have time to be teaching her. And they were like, well, we can provide a teacher for her. And my mom was like, okay. And so 8th grade, I was homeschooled. I wasn't homeschooled at my house, I was homeschooled at the library, so me and my teacher would meet at the library. The district was like, you know, I think that we're gonna have to get her to go to school, because what's she gonna do after high school? Is she gonna be in her house scared to go out in the real world? And they're like, no, I think she should go to school. My mom was like, you know, I agree with you, she needs to go to school. She was like, but I don't want her to go to the high school here. She would ask me, why don't you want to be around the kids? And the reason was because I didn't like being around kids I used to know, because I felt plain and simple embarrassed that I was in the office, embarrassed that I was homeschooled. Found a school, and it was a private school. I've been meaning to go and tour it to see what it was like. My teacher and my mom asked me, Emily, how was it? Did you like it? I was like, no, I didn't like it. Then the district found the school that was close to them. It wasn't a private school, it was a charter school. My mom enrolled me into that school. I was like, no, I don't want to do this. I'm not going to go back to the school. I don't know any of this. They don't teach me. I don't like it. I went back to the district, and she's like, you know, the school doesn't work out for her. And district was like, oh, well, we didn't know that. So then my psychologist said that she found another school, and it was a private school. We saw the school, and the director came. She said, let's head on back to my office. And so my mom talked about my situation. I don't like being around a lot of kids. And the director was like, well, this school is perfect, because like this school, we provide one-on-one with the teacher. So it's just the student and the teacher that is being taught. And mom's like, that is awesome. The meeting was over. Mom decided that I was gonna go to that school. I was really scared to go to a school that I knew no one. Something in me was like, you know, I should do this, because, you know, I put my mom through a lot of this stuff through school and everything. First day of school came. The same thing happened in 7th grade. My mom had to go to work, so she left earlier than me. And my school, you come in at any time you want. My grandma was like, Emily, you have to get up and get ready. I was like, no, I'm not going. My grandma called my mom. She was like, tell her that if she doesn't get up, I'm gonna call the cops. So just let her call the cops. And so my grandma called her back, and next thing I know, all of a sudden I'm in my bed and I look up, and it's a police officer. He was like, what's going on here? I said, I don't want to go to school. And he was like, well, you have to go to school, because if you don't, then you're gonna end up nowhere in life. The district provided transportation, so a cab was taking me. Grandma told the officer that I didn't want to go in the cab, and the officer said, you know, everything's gonna be fine. And then at the end of our discussion, he said, so are you gonna get in that cab? I said, yeah, I think I am. my mom called me and said, I forgot to call the cab, so I'm gonna take you on my lunch. She took me, and then it was time for my class, and then I met my first teacher, and she was really sweet, and she was telling me how everything's gonna be okay and how I'm gonna have a great time there at that school. School was over, I went home. Everyone asked me how my first day was. I was like, it was really good. And they were like, oh, but that incident happened this morning. I was like, yeah, I was nervous, but I got used to it. Then I had hope. I had hope that I was gonna be okay at that school. And I was. That's the school that I am graduating from. That's a school where I met my two best friends at, and other friends as well. That's a school that I will forever recommend to anyone who is in my situation or who just wants to be one-on-one with a teacher and wants your full attention. That's a school that I love. And the district funded for my first year there. For the IEP meeting, I said, you know, I love this school and I'd really love it if I could just keep going here. And the district said that I could. I started my sophomore year in January. Everything was fine. But at home, my family was like, I don't know why you can't just be normal. I don't know why you just can't be like everyone else. Then I broke down because having my family tell me that I wasn't normal and that I wasn't like everyone else, like that I felt guilty for not being like everyone else. I felt like something was wrong with me. I tried to push it out as much as I did. It was hard, you know. My family just wanted me to go to a regular school and I just didn't want to. I finished my sophomore year in August. My mom was telling me, you know, I really don't think they're gonna fund you again to go to the school. And they said, yeah. I broke down into tears. I stayed there for junior year again. I finished junior year from September into June, so like a regular school year. Junior year, I had two best friends, Sarah and Diana, like I told you. So me and Sarah were juniors and Diana was a senior, and she was leaving for college. We were sad because she was our best friend and she was leaving us. And then Diana left and it was just me and Sarah, and we met a lot of new friends senior year too. Started my senior year in the summer. I finished my senior year in January of this year, 2018. As you saw, I went to grad night and prom and everything. And Sarah got accepted into a college and I was so happy for her. But then I was sad because both of my best friends were leaving me. You know, I had Sarah when Diana left, but Sarah and Diana are leaving. And I was like, whoa, what's gonna happen now? I love my school so much because it pushed me year round. When I first came to that school, I was at a 4th grade level and my school pushed me and pushed me. I didn't have any summer breaks. I didn't stop for 3 years. And that is when I'm graduating at 16, and that's why I finished my high school years in 3.5 years, because my school pushed me. I met my two best friends there. I found myself there. There were kids there that were like me and I was happy. We weren't like everyone else, and that's what I liked about it. And that is when I truly embraced being different. That's when I truly embraced that I don't need to be like everyone else. I didn't need to be normal. I just needed to be me. And my friends brought that out in me. I didn't think I could ever find friends and best friends that I have today. I didn't think I could ever find two pure best friends that mean the world to me. And yes, I'm so sad that they're leaving, but I know that we're always going to stick together because we're best friends. So thank you to all my friends that have been there for me, love me for me, and that love me as my weird, true, messy self. I love you guys so much. And it's my high school experience. I also didn't say any of the names of the schools because everyone's different. What I think of the schools is probably is different from what other people think of the schools. Some people like some of the schools that I absolutely did not like. I didn't name the schools because I don't want to bash them, because that could probably be someone else's school that helped them so much. I know what you guys are wondering. You haven't talked about college. Are you going to college? I mean, everyone asks me that. I want to know if I'm going to college. I will make a separate video on that, because that's a whole other story. But that is why I'm graduating at 16. It's a very wild and messy story, but it's my story. And I'm glad that I'm telling you guys everything because maybe this could help someone. My family's proud of me. When I realized, when they know that I realized that I didn't have to be different, and when I spoke up to them and said, you know, I don't have to be like everyone else. I don't have to be like you and go to regular high school. I don't have to do that. I am different. Looking back on it now, I always think this to myself. I think that if I did anything just a slight bit different, I wouldn't have graduated early. I wouldn't have met the friends that I had. I wouldn't have found myself in who I am and who I want to be. So I'm happy that this is my story and that everything is going to be okay. If you guys have any video suggestions, please leave it down in the comments below if you guys want to know anything. So if you guys like this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below. And always remember to be true to you, because you are you than you. You have to be true to you. Don't be like everyone else. Just be who you are. And that's what I did. And I'm happy about that. I will see you in my next video. Bye, ladies and gents.